You have to be very strategic to leave those places white.
Yeah, you kind of. That's why you want to make an evaluation at the beginning and try and have an idea where you're gonna go.
I see a nice shadow on one side of my daughter's face, so I can tell where I'm going to be working from the left
Good,
to right.
good. That will go a long way for you guys. Trust me on that. It might not have been a bad idea on this one to for me to wet the areas I was gonna paint first, but I think it. I'm so far I'm all right.
Now for you.
And I'm trying to hit everything that with this base color.
So the Caucasian face, should I go with Naples yellow as the base color?
Depends on that face.
I mean, it's pretty pasty white.
A yellow tone is going to suggest that they take the sun very well. A pink tone is going to suggest that they don't take the sun very well.
So if you've got a redhead, it'll be pink.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you're working with a redhead, certainly go with a pink tone. If it's just someone with really pale skin, I wouldn't go yellow because it's going to suggest that that they're sun kissed a bit or jaundice worse.
So you mix the Naples yellow with a cadmium red light.
And now you can see I'm painting an African American lady, and I've covered most of her face with this pink as a under. I mean, Grandma doesn't have a dark brown complexion like me. She's got more of a golden reddish complexion. Um, that's an assessment that you got to make from your photo. So now I'm gonna let that set up a little bit, and while that's beginning to dry, I want to look for some places where I need to add some shadow, but I don't need sharpness. Why do I say I'm looking for areas that don't need sharpness?
Because you're going to lay it down on a damp surface.
My girl, give me a high five. Oh.
Yeah.
Did you? I don't know.
Yes, that is exactly right. So
Ready to go darker, aren't you?
I'm gonna go slightly darker, and I've added a little brown, and
More like a forehead area?
yeah, like there's some spaces like in her brow, above her brow, and there's some soft shadowy areas around her eyes.
So why is that not bleeding all over the place?
Well, it is, but not. Hopefully, I don't want it to. I want it to bleed some because I want soft lines here. You see what I'm saying? I want this area to be. I don't want hard edges in these areas I'm at now. So I applied it to that wet surface for that reason. But you can see it bleeding, right?
Yeah.
And I do want to control. I see some of the bleeding on that left eyelid. I don't want it to be too hazy, so I am gonna soften that. Notice I'm touching it. I'm not lingering around. I'm not farting around with it a lot, because what happens when you you screw around with it too much, and you start compromising the paper and getting some textures and some things that you don't want.
So you're gonna give this to your grandma when you're there?
Probably not. I love her, but she's in a home for senior citizens, and she doesn't have that much space. And I think it may do better with my sister in Cincinnati or my brother, perhaps.
Nice.
That's not. So did you wipe that paint off your brush just then on a napkin?
I did. I gave. Well, I think I know what you mean. Yes.
So are you essentially mixing the same color but just going darker each time around, or are you making a whole new color?
No. In this case, I've taken the same colors. It's just a little bit more concentrated.
Okay.
For now, that's gonna change, but for now, yes, you're right.
Okay.
You see what I'm doing with her nose?
No, I can't figure.
I'm putting in some of the shadows, but what my friends sometimes do is to go in for the nostrils, go in for the kill right out of the gate, and you put bullet holes right in the nostrils, and then you don't have anywhere else to go. So I'm putting some shading in. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. I'm shading the underside of her nose in those areas that need shading.
I see, I get it.
And I
see.
think I'm gonna shade that whole right nostril.
Oh, that's beautiful already.
Thank you.
Perfect. Stop right there.
Yes, a ghost lady. You really want Grandma to get on my case?
That's beautiful.
No Christmas card for you this year.
No.
See your eyes coming into shape.
All right. So it's 7 after, and I need to slow down and let it set up a little bit. So I'm gonna stop here because my next marks are gonna be more deliberate and more definitive. These are all somewhat blurry, right? Oh no, I just saw another mark I need to make. But way too much red. My next marks are gonna be a little bit, and it's like that with when we do charcoals, and we came up with that terminology of what was it? The aura.
Yeah.
That's what I just did. Right? I did.
What classes do you teach, Marvin?
Well, these guys have just been with me since shortly after the resurrection.
Okay.
The dawn of time.
Yeah.
BC.
The Pagilian plate was just separating from what is now Western Asia. I said I was going to stop.
Remember that, Sam?
All right, I'm going to stop now, and maybe this will be a good time for you all to. Now I don't know that what I just did here applies to the various types of photos you guys have come up with, but we'll see. And this is a good time to have a sip of Kentucky Bourbon Barrel Aged Ale.
Ooh, I thought you were drinking beer.
It is. You see that?
Looks tasty.
Well, it is.
Is it good?
Alright, I'm
It
gonna
is.
take a photo of that and tell me if there's like something else that you think I could see. Maybe her face is still too large.
Love to take a look.
That toffee
That
tastes
is her
like